All right, another bold prediction. We talking Tech and we talking Clemson, man. A rivalry that Clemson has been dominating over the last 6, 7 games. They've been doing their thing. The last time they played was in 2023, and Clemson did their thing. It was probably one of the worst games Haynes King has had as a college professional, with 4 interceptions in that one. But this time around, it gonna be different. Yes, sir. It's gonna be different this time, man. Now look, Clemson's a team that has struggled early on. I know Coach Dabo Swinney has been telling these guys, look, we can't do this against Georgia Tech, especially on the road. If we play with it, it might be a problem. So I think the respect is there on both sides of the ball. Great football coaches, great head coaches, great players. Clemson is loaded with talent, but they've been struggling to run the ball, right? I think only 151 yards this season, and the bulk of that has been Adam Randall, who is a converted wide receiver, now playing running back. He's done his thing, 4.9 yards per carry. We look at him and what he's been able to do for the Clemson Tigers, but they just have not been able to get that push. The offensive line has not looked the best, right? Struggled a lot against LSU, struggled against Troy, down 16-3. You're not going to be able to do that against Georgia Tech in this one. If you do that, you're going to lose this game. So for Clemson, you got to get out to a fast start. I think the defense has been doing a good job of keeping them in games, which is why teams have not pulled away from them. Why they've been there up until the end. But you got to make those plays, late in games. And they're leaning a lot on Brian Wesco, who's their leading receiver right now, 195 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Injuries to obviously T.J. Moore. It hasn't looked as crisp as it should be if you're Clemson. So that part has to improve. That's just the bottom line. And then defensively, just creating more pressures, right? Peter Woods look good. Look at T.J. Parker. They've been doing their thing. But who's the other guys outside of them that's going to be able to get the pressure? Now, Woody Woodaz, he's been doing good. I think he's second on the team in tackles with 17. Sammy Brown has 14. So that part, there's been no discrepancy. It's just being able to get more pressure, I think, which will help them go to the next level. Which is also a good test for Georgia Tech because week 1, going up against Colorado, there was a lot of pressures and a lot of hits getting on Haynes King, which obviously required him to miss last week, right? Can they grade better? The grades have not been the best. The best 2 have been Malachi Carney and Keelan Rutledge, right? Joe Fusile, Harrison Moore, Tana, McKinney, they've struggled a little bit. Can they protect the offensive line? And if I'm Buster Faulkner, I'm going to try to run this ball early and often. Got a dynamic duo in Jamal Haynes and Malachi Hosey that a lot of the nation don't know about. And they're doing it with limited touches. Like last week, I think they both had nine touches apiece just running the football. And Hosey had 100 yards. Haynes had 92 yards. So they're doing damage with the touches that they get. And this is a team that wants to impose their will against you. So run blocking, they've been phenomenal. It's just protecting King. And if I'm him, I'm not going to bang up my quarterback more. Right, you're not going to have Traylon Maddox in this one, but you do have a dynamic duo. You got guys that can step in like a Dalen Gordon or a true freshman and J.P. Powell that can come in. Lean on them in the running game, and then when the shot plays are there, you hit it down the field. Second game, coming back from an injury, obviously played last week. Malik looked good. They're going to need him, though, down the field. His downfield threat ability, man, is special. They're going to need the big plays, the chunk plays. They got a lot of it from Zion Taylor last week. They got one to Isaiah Canyon, who looked really good. He got a touchdown last week. You're going to need big plays if you're going to beat this Clemson team. But the key player I want to call out, and I want to see what he does, is Eric Rivers. They're going to need him. His speed, his agility, his yak yardage is going to be crucial. They're going to need to break some big ones down the field. And he's the guy I have circled in this game to see what he's going to be able to do. Now, Bailey Stockton's your consummate pro, does everything you ask him to do. He's actually leading Georgia Tech in catches and yards so far this year. But who else will step up for Georgia Tech is the key thing there. And can the offensive line protect King enough against this talented defensive front? And then defensively for Georgia Tech, you did a really good job last week. 7 sacks and 13 tackles for loss. Amontre Bradford stepped up big, highest graded defensive player for Georgia Tech. He had 2 sacks, 4 total tackles. Akilo Stone had 2 sacks as well. And everybody stepped up. If they can create that kind of pressure, them sacks, them negative plays, turnovers, this game could be a problem for Clemson. But it's just if Georgia Tech can do that consistently. And I love how Blake Gideon calls the game. He dials up different pressures and blitzes that really makes the team look good and it looks special. So, again, all eyes are going to be on you. You're playing up against Clemson. Home game on ESPN. ACC Huddle is going to be there. Should have been a college game day pick. But at the same time, I understand why they went with Georgia, Tennessee because, Clemson lost that first game to LSU. Now, if Clemson would have won 2-0, 2-0, I think that would have been the game everybody would have been talking about. But nonetheless, Georgia Tech, you got a big opportunity to show the world, the nation, with all the top recruits that are going to be there. Hey, we're a team, we're a program that's here to stay. We're a program that's taking that upward trajectory. We're a program that's here, and we're a program that's going to be a contender in the ACC this year and even in the college football playoff. And then there's going to be a lot of concerns and remarks about, obviously, Clemson if they go to 1-2. But the key for Georgia Tech in this game is you got to get out to a fast start. You need another special teams big play, whether that's Stockton, Rivers, whoever that is, you need a big play early in this game in order to get your juice going and the jolt going. I feel like it's going to be a packed out crowd, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of people on campus. So you make sure if you're Georgia Tech, you get off to an early start and you really hit them in the mouth. That's what you got to do against Clemson. Clemson's an elite team. You got to hit them in the mouth. So we will see if they'll be able to do that. Can they create pressure against the offensive line? Has been a little bit of compromise. And can they make the necessary plays they need? But nonetheless, man, that's enough of the breakdown of the game. I'm going with Georgia Tech, man. Big victory for the Yellow Jackets at home. I got them beating them 27-24. Back and forth affair. But I think they pull away late in this game. I think Georgia Tech has everything they need in order to win. I think they put the whole college football world on notice. Week 1, Haynes King was in the Heisman poll, right? Week 1, he won Maxwell National Player of the Week. Just him being healthy. I think he'll be healthy. I think he'll be able to make the plays. I got Georgia Tech with a major upset. And the secondary has to play a good job of not letting Wesco and those receivers get off. Making sure that they tackle and they wrap up in space and create pressure and have it. But I'm going Georgia Tech. Big victory at home against Clemson, showing the college world we here.